Hi there, Bridget Mackay with the Law Offices of Bridget Mackay, and we focus our practice on estate planning and elder law. And today I want to talk about something very practical, a question that will come in your mind in the midst of an emergency. And so I'm going to give you a couple things to think about, and maybe you'll retain some of them so you'll know what to do when this faces you. But the question is, my mom had a stroke. I am her healthcare agent. What do I need to know? I want to back up on this a little because yes, in the moment a parent has a stroke, it's very scary, very chaotic. A lot of information is flowing. You're making a lot of decisions if you're their agent. But in that moment you're making decisions, you need to have talked to your mom about what their desires are if they are faced with that kind of health crisis. So get really into the meat of things. To what degree do you want us to take your medical care if you have a stroke? And so that's most important. If you have that foundation with your mom and you know what her limits are, then the next thing you need to have is her healthcare directive itself, the paperwork, because the hospital, the emergency room will be asking. And even though you might be a Kaiser patient and she sent it into Kaiser and it's supposedly in her medical records, I can tell you from experience that it takes a minute for them to find it. So if you can hand it to them, it's clear who they communicate with, that is huge. Okay. The next thing you're going to want to do is, if at all possible, bring a sibling, a spouse, a friend along as a second set of ears. Information is flowing very quickly. You are the decision maker. You are feeling like a lot is on your shoulders. It is so comforting and so nice to be able to turn to someone to make sure they heard the same thing you did, because oftentimes your doctor or the healthcare professionals are not easily accessible to follow up with. And with a stroke, situations are changing quickly. So I also thirdly want to add that most healthcare directives should also have with them a HIPAA release, so a health information release. Make sure you have that as well, because there may be some historical records that you will need to access to make the decisions for the benefit of mom. So if you have those two documents, you have a foundation of what her expectations are, then you should be able to weather a very stressful and difficult time when you act as agent in the midst of an emergency. And if you don't have those documents, find an experienced estate planning attorney in your area and get those in place for mom.